Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. We've got a brand new trap hole card that just got revealed for Duelist Nexus, the core set coming after Cyberstorm Access. We're still probably a good 4.5 months away from getting it, but still it is very hyped to take a look at what we're getting in the future, especially when we just got this massive, Trap Trick structure deck. Trap Tricks are a legit deck that is getting like pretty consistent tops right now in the TCG, relatively speaking. And now they get another Trap Hole. So let's dive into it. This is Wipeout Trap Hole. Not my favorite Trap Hole artwork, but it's cool enough, I think. Let's get into it. So this is Wipeout Trap Hole. It's a normal trap card, of course, like all trap holes are. When your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or less attack, banish that monster with 1500 or less attack face down. That's it. Pretty simple. Pretty clean. Pretty trap hole-esque, I would say. Well, for the most part. I mean, we saw the other new trap hole that we got in the structure deck was a little more complicated. There are some slightly more complicated ones, but this one's one of the more simple ones. And I don't hate it. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's the greatest trap hole we've ever seen. There's a world where, depending on the format, it's a one-of in your trap trick deck for sure. But, it's not incredible. I love... Now listen, here's what I'll say. From a removal standpoint, this card is immensely strong. It's about the best removal that you can do in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a non-targeting banish face down. Like, those are like the three incredible parts of this deck. Now, it's hindered by the fact that it can only hit monsters with 1500 or less attack. That obviously hurts. Meaning a lot of times you're going to want to be using this earlier on in turns versus your opponent, because once they get to their boss monsters, like they summon a Brone de Fleur, you can't use this against it. You know what I mean? Once they're getting to their bigger end board pieces, this card is not as good. And then, of course, trap holes always have their inherent weakness. The new trap hole isn't as weak to this, but almost all the other ones are, which is that they're trigger cards. They can't activate whenever they want normally, and so you have to wait for your opponent to play into it. Now, most decks have to play into it, especially if they're going second. But when you're going second, these cards are not as good. Your opponent, if they already have an established board, they may not have to summon, in which case they do not have to trigger any of your trap holes, and that's where these cards get weaker. So I particularly like this card a little more as it pertains to Trap Tricks Rafflesia, because I think Rafflesia will do a pretty good job of making use of this card, because it's harder for your opponent to predict which trap hole you can hit them with at any given moment, and this one could be really good depending on what deck we're seeing. Like I think about Pirelli, right? Like Pirelli summons one of their little guys once the new support comes out for them, and being able to just clear it off the field before they even get to try and make an exceed is pretty interesting. But yeah, it's going to be matchup dependent. It goes in the pool of playable trap hole cards for Trap Tricks, but I don't see them playing more than one, given a certain format, given a certain deck that you're worried about that this card may be particularly good about. Otherwise, I don't really see, it's not that great to me. But, it's a nice little addition to the set. It's a good generic card also, so if you do mess around with like a draft format with like sets when they come out where you open packs and you see what you can get, this is a pretty nice card generically to be able to apply from a format like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it here for me. I mean, nothing too crazy, pretty simple, pretty clean. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below if you are a Trap Trick player, or just in general your thoughts about this card overall. We just already have so many playable trap holes. Like, this kind of just falls into that bin of 8 probably playable trap holes. So we'll have to sift through and see which ones are best. But yeah, I'm out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me down the line. Obviously, we're only a bit of the ways through Duelist Nexus. I'm expecting this upcoming week we'll actually get a good amount of stuff revealed, but we'll obviously see as we go. But I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.